Hey folks, let me introduce myself. I used to work at Google, then ran a startup called FutureCam, then worked as CTO of a startup. I now work as a part-time CTO with multiple companies at once. There's a link in the description if you'd like to learn more about what I do. Now moving on to the actual topic of the video, you should plan projects in terms of features, not releases. So people often plan a project this way. They'll say there'll be version 1 or release 1, then 1.5, then 2. And each of them has these features. Version 1 has these 3 features, 1.5 has these 3 features, and version 2 has these 2 features. And then they may ask the tech team, okay, when will version 1 be done? And they'll do an estimate and so on, right? I don't think this is the best way of planning a project today. I would prefer to plan it this way. Just get rid of the concept of versions and plan each feature by itself. The traditional way made sense like 20 years back, pre-internet, when a version was a big deal. Like you had Windows 95, then 98, then 2000. You had to stamp out physical disks and send them over, right? It made sense in those days. You can't have a new version every month, right? A version is a big deal. But in today's world, we should work agile. And the reason we should work agile is we can't foresee the future. Sometimes business people talk in terms of predictability, and predictability is a good thing to aspire towards. But projects will never be fully predictable. So our plan should have some accommodation to deal with the unknown. That's where agile comes from. The whole philosophy of agile is, since we can't plan the future exactly, let's be more nimble and deal with reality as it happens rather than making a big plan in the beginning, like a 5-year plan, which doesn't work out. So when someone gives me a plan like this, I ask, what is the relative importance of these features? Assuming that they have been listed in the same order, I separate them out. Now among these features, maybe version 5 is more important than version 4. Then I would update it here in the priority list. And this is a priority list to be given to the development team. And the development team will try to adhere to this, but there may be some situations in which they may deviate. For example, if some features require a lot of back-end work and the front-end engineer is idle, he may choose to pick up a feature that is lower in the list to avoid wasting time sitting idle, right? So the priority list is only a guide to the development team. And sometimes project managers say, can't you do this? Are you saying this release is too big? Is that why you're asking me to split it up? The answer is no. Firstly, we don't know. Estimates are only guesses. The actual time something takes depends on a lot of factors which we don't know at the beginning. We often don't even know the specification of what we are supposed to do precisely. When we get into it, we'll discover some things. And then there may be technical challenges. And then there may be dependency. Something may depend on something else which wasn't done. So all these things happen. So which is why instead of relying on estimation and saying, is this too big? Will this take a quarter or two? If so, let's break it up. Instead of doing it that way, we should just break it up proactively. There's no downside to breaking it up this way. And good management gives context to everyone to make decisions independently. A project manager shouldn't say, okay, come back to me, we'll have a discussion. Because all these back and forths and discussions take up a lot of time. The other dynamic I have seen is when you have something like this and you have a milestone agreed upon, a deadline, say it is January end. I have seen developers know that you can't do all 4 in January. Let's say today is January 10th. I have been in teams where people knew that they can't do all 4 in 20 days, but they're still working. They still work on all of them because they are supposed to. Whereas This method gives people the context they need to independently make decisions. So instead of working on 4, 5, 6, 7, which are these, the developer may say, hey, we are running short on time. Let's do only 3 or only 2. After all, it's better to have 2 features done than 4 half done. So this way of prioritization gives developers context to make decisions independently. And in a team, everyone should be doing that. Everyone should be given this context. It shouldn't be top down. It shouldn't be a central bottleneck like a PM whom you have to go and consult. And in making this priority, the PM can take into account both the business value and a rough guess as to the cost. And we are talking about high level planning here for a project, not sprint level planning. So this may itself take a year, for example. So we are not talking about low level planning here. And each feature can release independently. Releases are not a big deal in today's world. So sometimes people think in this model. They think launch is a big deal and they plan backwards to implementation. But today launches are straightforward. You should be using continuous deployment. Which means that you may be launching multiple times a week, multiple times a day, maybe multiple times an hour. Right? Launch is not a big deal. Implementation is the thing that takes time. Launch is not a bottleneck today with continuous deployment. And if you're not using continuous deployment, you should consider it. Even if you don't use continuous deployment, if you have weekly launches, say it's a mobile app, you can't continuously deploy it. Even then, you can upload a new build to the App Store every week or 2. So launches are not really a big deal. They just keep happening. The implementation is the bottleneck. So this is how I think projects should be planned, so that at any given time, the most important features have been done first. Because if the project runs out of time, we should stop it with the unimportant features remaining, not with some unimportant features done and some important features yet to be done. That's not good, right? The other thing you want to avoid is stopping a project with a bunch of things half done. So in one of my consulting engagements, I had a client who insisted on this model despite my advice. And when the project ended, it was a project with a fixed time duration in weeks. It was a 1-month project actually. And that was all the commitment from both sides was. And after that month, the client opted not to renew the project. And he was left with 8 and 9 half-baked. Whereas if we had more granular priority lists, and this project had a sole engineer, so you don't need to have a lot of engineers to use this model or benefit from this model. At that time, the engineer had completed the first 7 and 8 and 9 were pending. If he had this context, he would be able to pick up 8 and say, there are only 3 days remaining in this project. Let me do 8 first. And then the client would have gotten one of these done rather than leaving with 2 half done. And a lot of decisions by necessity will be made by the rank and file. Everything cannot go to the engineering manager or the product manager, which is why this kind of prioritization is important. And people don't like to do this. Often when you ask, hey, among these, what is a priority order? They'll resist. They'll say, oh, can't we do all 4? The answer is always, yes, we can do all 4. But which do you want first? Which is more important? And just in case all 4 don't get done, which do you want done and which do you want undone? So these hard calls need to be made ahead of time. And splitting things up also means that lower priority features can be deprioritized. So if you assume this has a certain theme, let's say, I don't know, let's call this login, right? And there may be a bunch of features within it. Login with Google, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, phone number. people tend to bunch things together this way. But when you split it up, you may say that we need to have one login method. Login with, let's say, Google. And the other options are not a launch blocker. So when you take something like login and you unbundle it, you ask yourself, what is the importance of login with Twitter, say, as compared to feature 8, whatever that is. And you will prioritize each of them separately as opposed to bundling them together, where now you are prioritizing the bundle as a whole. And everything in this bundle may not be more important than version 2. So that is again another reason why you should unbundle things. Another problem happens with non-technical stakeholders. It's not their fault, it's nobody's fault, but they tend to think of launch as a PR launch. But when you launch something, you're just updating some server with the code, that's all. You're not doing marketing, you're not getting all the reporters in the country to write about your product and doing all these things, right? So launch really is a low stakes. And also launching rarely is a bad idea. You want to launch often because the risk of launching rarely is too high if you're launching a lot of things at once. It also becomes hard to debug which of the changes you made resulted in this outcome. And if you have to go back and change something, you may have to redo a lot of work. Whereas in the granular releases model, you get feedback very quickly. You also have less context switching, especially with continuous deployment. You deploy something now, and 1 hour later things are bad. You know what is responsible. You know all the details of the code you just wrote. But even if you don't do continuous deployment, even if you do weekly deployment, you get some of that benefit as opposed to a very slow deployment. So again, when we say launch, it need not be a PR launch. Sometimes we can call it a soft launch. And sometimes with some non-technical stakeholders have phrased it as, no, we're not launching, we're just updating the server. If someone goes there, they will see it, yes. But we are not like launching, because for them a launch is more on the marketing side. So anyway, so the bottom line is, instead of having versions or releases, just deal with each feature individually. This will result in faster progress and the more important things being done first or done at all. If you'd like to explore working with me, I'll leave a link in the description which you can check. If you have any thoughts about this, do share them because we can have a conversation and learn from each other. And if you think this was useful, subscribe to this channel so that you will get notified when I post anything else that may be interesting to you.